All right, YouTube, welcome back to the channel. So this week we're taking a look at 4 clear cases for the iPhone 13 Pro Max. You know, if you're wanting to show off, you know, that gold iPhone or that blue iPhone or whatever color you have, you want to be able to see the iPhone, you know, not covered up with a case. Clear cases, but you want protection, right? You still want protection. Clear cases are the best way to go. We've got 4 here we're going to be checking out. The first one's going to be the Unicorn Beetle by Supcase. This is actually my first case from Supcase. I haven't used a case from them before. Actually, I really like this one. I've been using this one the most out of all of these. Then we've got the Ultra Hybrid Mag by Spigen. Spigen, great case manufacturer, known for affordable, high-quality cases. Then we've got the Speck Gemshell. 8 feet of drop protection on this guy right here. I would say Speck is known for high quality, really solid drop protection in terms of their cases. Most of their cases have like a lot of grip on them because they have ridges along the sides and the back. This one does not. The Presidio grip, they're really known for kind of their grip cases there, but they're a little bit more expensive. And then we also have the Lucid Clear from Caudabe. I actually did an up-close video on this case recently, so I'll leave a link to that down below. I'll leave links to all of these cases down below as well if you want to pick one of them up. The interesting thing about the case from Caudabe here, the Lucid Clear, move these to the side, is it is actually not a, it works with wireless charging. It is, you know, MagSafe compatible, but it doesn't have a magnetic ring on the back. But what I did was I grabbed the Spigen one-tap ring adapter and slapped that on the back of the Caudabe Lucid Clear case, and basically turned it into a MagSafe compatible clear case. So we'll talk about this one as well. So we got 4 cases here. They're priced at different levels. All 3 of these are available on Amazon, that being the Supcase, the Spigen, and the Speck. I did pick these up off of Amazon. The Caudabe, however, is not available on Amazon. So if you want the Caudabe case, and as well as most of their cases, except for some of the older models, you have to go to Caudabe.com. But I've ordered from them before. Very trustworthy, quick shipping, and typically they're offering some sort of a discount on their website. So I definitely recommend you go check out Caudabe.com. Now, I'll say this: I like all of these cases. I'll also say that I've never used a case I haven't liked necessarily, although I have one that I'm going to talk about that's not my favorite. But I just love trying new things. I like trying new cases. They're all unique. They're all a little bit different. And so we're going to talk about what those differences are and why you may or may not want to buy one of these cases. So if you're in the market for a clear case, what I hope to do today is just kind of give you a look at each of these cases to help you in your purchasing decision. So if I do that, hey, give me a subscribe, give me a like, help the video and help the channel grow. That's what I kind of hope to do, you know, today. So I'm going to go from the cheapest to the most expensive case on the table, and the first one up here is going to be Spigen. This case was $20. Now, one of the things I'll say is most of the time, and actually let me wipe this down real quick. Most of the time, you can expect Spigen cases to run you, you know, between $10 and $15. But I have noticed that when their MagSafe versions of their cases, that includes the magnetic ring, I think because of the material costs, they're a little bit more expensive. So this one is coming in at $20, which is still a great price on Amazon. And I think you can see right in this shot as I look up at the camera, but this is a very clear case. I would say out of all 4 of these, between the Spigen and the Caudabe case, the Caudabe Lucid Clear, which one is the most clear? So it's really between these 2 cases. I'd probably have to give it to the Caudabe case in terms of clarity out of all 4 of these. And that's really down to the material that the Caudabe case is made of. It's made out of a impact-resistant thermoplastic polymer that they say is also used in bulletproof glass. So this is actually a very kind of a hard plastic. It doesn't feel brittle. It's not going to break on you, but it's more similar to a harder plastic or a polymer. Then this is kind of a little bit more rubber, especially on the sides. It's TPU material on the sides. And so this is a little bit more clear, I think, because of the materials used in it. So that's the Caudabe case. We'll get to that here in a second. Right now we're looking at the Spigen Ultra Hybrid Mag case for $20. You do get a little bit of a light. Actually, on the inside, you do get a little bit of text around the ring. I don't know if that's going to be able to, let me see if I can zoom in. Here we go. And these clear cases just catch the light like nothing else, so I'll try to pull back. You do get a little bit of light there. You also get, so one of the things that Spigen is known for is its air cushion technology. So if you notice, right there is an air pocket. So in each of the corners, you have these air pockets. Let me go ahead and throw the phone in. We'll continue to look around the case here. So you can kind of see that air pocket. So in terms of drops, if you drop it on the corner, it's got some extra cushion there. Get that to come into, there we go. Focus a little bit. All right. But the other thing is not a lot of branding. You get a very light touch, very light branding touch on the side here. But really not a lot of branding. Otherwise, it's a pretty nice clear case. Love how it lets the gold shine through. You do have the white magnetic ring. There's just nothing you can do about that. And magnets can't be clear. They're solid material, so you have to, you're going to see that in the back of the case. But the rest of the case is really nice and cleared out. You do get fingerprints on everything, obviously. Let me switch this up to manual focus real quick. All right, much better. Here we go. So in manual focus, go real quick and show you that. There's that Spigen branding hit. There is the air cushion technology. And as I said before, you get the air bubbles or air pockets in each of the corners. You get a really nice lip around the camera hump. So you can tell your camera lenses are definitely protected. And then you also get a lip around the front of the phone. Now I'm using a screen protector, so the lip doesn't look as deep as it is, but you can still kind of tell. If you look down here, you can see the lip does rise above even my screen protectors. While it's not, you know, a super deep lip with my screen protector on, it's still enough of a lip that if you want to set this down on the table, you're going to be, you know, you're going to be just fine. So power button, plenty clicky buttons. They work great. Power button, volume up and down. The other thing is you get a really nice robust cutout for your mute rocker on this case. Plenty of room to access that. And then on the bottom, you've got your cutouts for your speaker grills, your power port. That cutout is really large, so you have plenty of room for if you're going to plug in a charger. Should work just fine for you. And so that is basically the Spigen Ultra Hybrid. Let me back out real quick. Just give you one, just a look a little bit farther away here of the full case with the phone in it. As I said before, this is one of the most clear cases of the bunch that we're looking at today. Obviously, I've used it for a couple of weeks, but it's probably not enough time in terms of to see if it's going to yellow or not. So I'll post an update later on if I notice any yellowing in this case. And one thing I did just notice, let me zoom back in, is if you look down here in the corner, so obviously, actually one in the top too, and each of the corners, even on the back, it does raise up. So there's the edge of the case rises up a little bit, which is going to protect the back of the case from getting scratched. Obviously, if you've got a nice clear case, you want to show your phone off. You don't want a lot of scratches happening on the back of the case, and so they've got raised edges around each of the corners to prevent that. All right, cool. So that is the Spigen Ultra Hybrid Mag case. Next up, we're going to take a look at the Supcase Unicorn Beetle. And that one is right here. They all kind of look the same. I've actually been using this one the most. This one, just a few things about this as I put it on. Has a hard polycarbonate back, plus a shock absorbent TPU bumper. They advertise, I haven't tested this, they advertise 15 feet drop protection, military spec drop protection on this thing. There's a couple things I like about this, so let me explain why I've been using this probably the most as we take a look around this case. So you do get a little bit of, let me zoom in here. You do get a little bit of more of a branding touch on this one. Is that coming in? There you go. So Supcase, it says around the ring on the back, Supcase products, military grade, protection. One of the things I do like about this is the ring is silver. And so it doesn't stand out quite as much as the white ring that you saw in the Ultra Hybrid. And so I really like the fact that, you know, it's a silver ring. It adds a little bit of uniqueness to, a little bit of additional color hit on the back of the case. Again, you're getting plenty, you know, a nice deep lip around your camera lenses. Plenty of protection there. This one, I believe, actually has more protection around the front of the case, and actually the edges around the top and the bottom, the corners there are thicker, and they come up even further than on the sides of the case to give you some more protection for the screen. So you can kind of see right here, it's a little bit deeper than on the sides. Now I'm using a screen protector, which does take up some of that space, but you do get a nice lip around the front and the back, as well as, if you notice, the air pockets on this one, they're much more pronounced. And the corners, I can just tell you, I don't know if I can show you as much. Yeah, I think you can see it. The corners are a lot beefier on this case. So they've beefed up the corners in terms of protection around the front, around the bottom and the top. The other thing I really like about this case is on the back, they've actually, whereas the Spigen case, the corners were elevated, this one, the whole entire thing is elevated around the back. So let me see if I can kind of show you that. So actually right in here, there's an edge that comes up, and then actually even on the bottom, there's more of a pronounced material. It's just beefier material, and I actually like the way that feels. It almost feels like it's a little tray around the back of your phone, and it's something you can actually use to grip. So I feel like there's some grip application there in terms of that. In terms of clarity, you know, you can see for yourself here. I feel like it's plenty clear. The case itself is not as clear as the Spigen case. It's just, but it's like barely less clear. They say, and so you do get a little bit of a lanyard hole here. So if lanyards are something that are important to you, they do provide access to that. And then here's your buttons. Buttons are plenty clicky. The mute rocker cutout is it's not as wide, but it's actually longer, so plenty of room to get in there and access that. And then on the bottom, actually the power port cutout's not as big as the Spigen one, so if you need a large cutout for your power port, you might look at the Spigen Ultra Hybrid over this one. I would say out of the four, I don't know, I've just been using this one a lot. I like this case. I don't know why necessarily. It feels, it's a little bit beefier than I typically like. I normally like thin cases, but I've really enjoyed just kind of having this on the phone. I've liked the way it feels in the hand. As I said before, I like this kind of beefy area of the case, and along the sides kind of adds a little bit of grip. You can definitely feel well protected if you're using this case. So let me back out one more time on this guy here. just so you can kind of see it in the full case, around the front. The top. And then the bottom. Yeah, you can actually, so you can see that beefiness right there. So that's Supcase. Actually, I'm kind of impressed with their case. You know, I may have to try more cases from Supcase out. I've never, as I said before, this is my first case of theirs. You can pick this up on Amazon for $22. I will leave links down below again for any of these cases. I'll wipe this phone off real quick. All right, next one we have coming up. So the next two are pretty much $30, so about $10 more. We're going to talk about the Speck Gemshell MagSafe case first. A couple things about this. They do say that it has anti-yellowing UV protection. Also, they claim 8 feet of drop protection, which this is another beefy case, so I completely buy that and believe that. And then they also claim that they have a microband antimicrobial protection. It gives 99% reduction in bacteria on the case for a cleaner surface. So they've done something to treat the case in terms of antibacterial protection. It's got a really tight fit on this. And you know what, this might be the deepest lip on the front of the case as I take a look at it. You know, this is a nice one. I think I'm going to have to spend a little bit more time with this case. Definitely feels beefy. This might be the beefiest of all the cases here. It's you know, could be a close tie with Supcase, but it's definitely a beefy feeling, thicker case. So let's take a close-up look at this one. You do get the Speck. Let's see if I can get that in there. Kind of hard to see with all the light. But you do get a Speck brand. There you go. You do get the Speck brand here on the magnetic ring. This ring is also the thickest ring of them all, so it stands out the most visually on the back of the phone. But a couple things here. So if you look at the corners, you actually get, you know, it's kind of like that air pockets. It's kind of this strip of protection. And basically it's a very soft, because it kind of sticks out here on the back, the rubber does. And they actually use it for feet on the back to raise the back of the case up if you're setting it down on its back. But it's kind of a softer rubber. And what that does is it absorbs the vibrations if you drop the phone on a corner. And you get that on all 4 corners. So you can see that strip right there. And you can see how it sticks out from the back of the case. Ooh, the buttons are kind of a little bit more malleable in this. You know, they're plenty clicky. Not going to have any problem at all. You get a nice cutout for the mute rocker. Plenty of room there to access your mute rocker. Let's look at the lip here around the back of the camera. Nice deep lip again. It's going to protect your camera lenses. And then on the front, I do think this is probably the deepest lip. I mean, you can just tell right away. Let me hold this up. There you go. If you look right in here, you can just see that the lip is much more pronounced around the front of the case, and it looks like it does stick out on the top and the bottom more than it does on the sides, but it's much more pronounced than the other cases we looked at. Around the bottom, cutouts for your power port, your speaker grills. You know, this one has a pretty large power port cutout. I still think Spigen's probably the largest of all 4, although we haven't looked at the Caudabe one yet. But out of all 3 we've looked at so far, this was almost as large as the Spigen cutout, but plenty of room there if you've got, you know, a power port that you need to plug something into. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to spend some more time with this. Actually, I'm going to put this on my phone again after this video and just kind of take this for another drive. You can also see there's a little bit of layering going on here on the edge, and that's just more protection. It's really shock absorption, so if you're dropping this phone on the side or the corners, they're taken care of absorbing that shock so it's not transferred as much to the glass of your phone. But I love how the gold just shines through. On the 13 Pro Maxes this year, the back is much more golden looking than last year's model. All right, let me back up here real quick. Give you a look at the phone from a little bit of a distance here. All right, last up, this video is going to be a little bit longer than normal. We've got 4 cases we're looking at here, and the last one is going to be, now typically I would say this is probably the case I would normally be most attracted to, mainly because it is most definitely the thinnest case out of the group that we're taking a look at today. You can pick this up on Caudabe.com for $30. And you do get, so a couple things here. Instead of buttons, you're getting cutouts. So this is a pretty super thin and light case. You don't have much of a lip around the front. You do have a little bit of a lip, but because I'm using a screen protector, you're not gonna, actually let me zoom in. There we go. Because I'm using a screen protector, it's gonna be, that lip is almost gonna be taken up and be almost as flat as, so you can see right here, you know, there's not a lot of lip rising above, if any, rising above the screen protector. They're about even. On the sides here, you do have cutouts again, which means the buttons are very clicky, plenty of room to access the mute rocker, probably the most room, because the cutout actually kind of goes around the back edge of the case. Same thing on the power port, nice big cutout for that. And then on the bottom of the case, about the same, you know, about as much room here as the Spigen. A lot of room for your power port, and then your speaker grill cutouts are aligned really nicely. One of the things you do get on this case is there's a cutout here around the corner. That will provide a little bit of shock absorption. But this case really is not for drop protection. Really, this case is to protect you from some light scratches, maybe very minor drops, but I would not depend on this case for anything significant in terms of drop protection, because it is a very thin case. Now, the camera cutout does provide good protection for your camera lenses, so you do get a nice lip around the camera lens area. And then, as I mentioned before, I grabbed one of the Spigen kind of ring mounts and put that on the back of this case. Let me zoom back out. Just to clarify for everyone, as I've done more research on these are not actually magnetic rings. These are just pieces of metal. But what they essentially do, because this case is so thin that it's completely wireless charging compatible without this ring. It's actually MagSafe compatible without this ring. But if you want to be able to put this case on like a MagSafe car mount where you're going to have a lot of jiggling around, or you want to put a wallet on this without the wallet falling out, what the metal ring serves to do is provide more of a magnetic hold for those accessories to have on the back of your case. So that's why the rings need to go on the outside of the case, and that's why they're not necessarily magnetic. They're more just metal. We're going to actually take a look in an upcoming video. We're going to take a look at the Spigen ring here, and then we're actually going to compare it to the ESR version. I've used both of them, and so we're going to take a look at those. We'll do an install of each so you can kind of see what it takes to put one on. If you're interested in that, subscribe and you'll see that as that comes out. But this is the Caudabe Lucid Clear. And as I said before, you can pick this up at Caudabe.com for $30. Let me take this out real quick. And there we go. The 4 cases here. We got, we got the Caudabe case. We've got the Spigen, Speck, and then the Supcase. So yeah, I hope this answered the questions that you have in terms of which case you should pick up if you're looking to pick up a clear case. If you have any other questions on these cases, leave me a comment down below. I'll answer them as best I can. And yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. This is a long video because we've looked at a lot of cases tonight. It is kind of late, but I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, as I said before, give me a subscribe, give me a like down below. It will help grow the channel. It helped me get more cases on here and more things to review. And actually, one thing I would ask is, I'm ready to buy some cases. So what do you want to see next in terms of either phone products, maybe I don't know, MagSafe products, wallets, or phone cases? You know, what can I show you? What do you want to check out? Yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, guys. Peace.